Well, welcome back. Will Meyer, the movie guy, is with us talking about top movies at the box office this weekend. All right, here we go again, literally. We're going to talk about Mamma Mia, the sequel.
That's right.
And you know, sequels always kind of get a bad rap because you're trying to beat the first one.
And this one's really unnecessary, too, you know. I mean, it's 10 years after that last one. But, you know, the first Mamma Mia was wildly successful. You know, it's, of course, based on the music of ABBA. And this movie, they don't really have that much of a story to tell, but there are two timelines in this movie. One takes place a long time ago when Meryl Streep's character was young, and it shows how she fell in love with three men, one of whom would go on to become her daughter's father. The other timeline takes place in present day, and it shows how Amanda Seyfried is getting ready to reopen the hotel that was started by her mother. You know, I'll be honest, Leslie, I wasn't really looking forward to this movie very much. I watched the original and this one in the same day back to back so that I can compare, and I think that first one, I'm sorry, I know people love it, but I think it's just clumsy, it's awkward. I don't think that the romance works very well. I think the songs, too, aren't great. There wasn't a single fun moment in that movie that made me just want to sing along or dance. So it was a huge surprise to me during this movie that I had to tell myself to stop tapping my toes so much because I like this one a lot more. This was a huge surprise for me. I think it was a lot of fun. I think it's better in almost every way. I think that the performances are better. I think Lily James makes a great young Meryl Streep. I think that the song arrangements this time really, really work. I think that it's witty. I think I laughed out loud several times in this film. It just feels more confident, more assured. The tone is more consistent. It just kind of commits to being this fun, silly, freewheeling summer flick, and I think it really succeeds at that. Now, is it a great movie? Absolutely not, and it doesn't take a movie critic to see all the issues in this movie. The timelines don't make any sense. The new characters are really underdeveloped, and I think that the stakes are just very low. But despite all that, it gives you a really fun time. So if you're not too discerning, I think you'll enjoy it as much as me. So I say 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, that's high for Will Meyer. All right, you also are going to review Sorry to Bother You. I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah, this is a comedy. It premiered at Sundance earlier this year, where it generated this electric buzz. And it's a film that's set in an alternate version of present-day Oakland, California, where a struggling African-American telemarketer, he discovers that the secret to success at this job is talking like a white person, and this propels him into this really macabre universe. It's a movie where it's just bursting with energy and bursting with originality, too. I've never seen a movie quite like this before. One interesting thing is that his white voice is actually provided by a white male comedian. When they do these voices, it's actually a white male comedian. So, but it's a movie that's just so bizarre. There's so many unexpected twists in this film that really, I don't think there's a person on this planet who could predict where this movie ends up going. But it is funny. There's a lot of absurdist humor in this film, too, but it's also dealing with some serious topics. It's critiquing institutional racism, viral video success, police brutality. But this movie is, like I said, it's out there, but it's also relatable, too, because we relate to this main character. It's got a little too much on its mind, I think, at the end of the day. It's this first-time director, and I think he's trying to make a movie about everything in his first movie. But overall, I think it still works. I like its ambitious nature, so I'd say 3 out of 4 for this one, too.
Okay, 3 out of 4 back-to-back.
Yeah.
It's a good Sunday. All right, our final one, Leave No Trace.
Yeah, this is a drama that stars Ben Foster and a newcomer, Thomas and Mackenzie. They play a father and daughter that have been living off the grid for years in the forests of Portland, Oregon. One day their idyllic life is disrupted. They're placed into social services, and then they have to just try and adapt to these new surroundings, and they have to decide, are we going to embrace this or are we going to return to our wild homeland? It's directed by Deborah Granick, who made Winter's Bone about 10 years ago with Jennifer Lawrence. And this movie kind of feels similar to a lot of recent indie movies about parents raising their kids in the wild, but this movie is smaller and it's smarter than a lot of those movies. One of the things I love about it is that it trusts its audience. You know, this movie doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but we know exactly what these characters are doing, what they're thinking and feeling, without this movie having to spell it out to us. For instance, we can kind of infer that this main character has PTSD. It never says that, though, and then when we hear a helicopter noise and we see the look in his eyes, we know what that's doing to him.
Yeah.
So, but it's just super smart. It sidesteps a lot of cliches. Even though it's quiet, it's so intense. You could have heard a pin drop in the auditorium that I saw it in. Yeah, it's emotionally intense. It's really moving. Suspenseful, too, because you're constantly wondering, okay, are they going to stay? Are they going to go back to the wild? I just really love this film. I think it has 2 amazing performances. Both deserve Oscar nominations. And I just think that this movie may seem bleak, but it's ultimately about the kindness of strangers. I don't have a bad word to say about it. So this is 4 out of 4. So definitely a good weekend.
2 3 out of 4s, 1 4 out of 4. Wow, it's a good Sunday. Like we said, it's going to be rainy. Also, you have your Facebook page. And you've been asking for people's recommendations as well over which ones you should review. I noticed that.
I did that the other day, so I'm going to do that again this week. So yeah, go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Will Meyer, the movie guy. If I can't decide one week what to see, I'll ask you guys to help me out. So
awesome. Sounds great, Will. We appreciate it. We're going to send it over to Rebecca Sweet for that movie day for